Barbie, a movie about women and women ruling the world and the woke female agenda. Why can't everything just be with straight white men leading everything? The patriarchy, yay! Feminism, woke agenda, and feminazis. And welcome to my safe haven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and joining me for another review here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. It's a little touch and go here on the channel for a little bit because, as you guys know, unless you're living under a rock, or maybe I got some fans that are from overseas, there's currently a writer and actor strike going on here in the United States. And because of that, it was very unclear for a while of what I can or couldn't post as an influencer, because even though I am not a part of the union, for whatever reason, they still consider like influencers as, I don't know what they consider, but at first it was like, oh, as an influencer, you're not allowed to promote or talk about movies and review movies or whatever, or you're not allowed to do any contracts with, granted, none of my reviews are contracted work. If I get paid from YouTube, because it's not a consistent thing, I'm getting paid from YouTube, not from any of the studios. So I'm not directly working with the studios. But anyway, I'm not even going to go into all that long diatribe. But to make a long story short, it was an article came out from Variety. And that's also why I didn't review Mission Impossible, because I was like, I don't think I'm allowed to do this. But a SAG-AFTRA article came out from Variety that basically said, as a critic, I am allowed to still review movies and TV shows. And also, as a person that is non-union, I'm not bound to any struck rules. However, with that said, I still can't necessarily promote a movie. So, for example, this video is about Barbie. I went to a Barbie screening yesterday. I couldn't post that I was at the screening, but I can release my non-spoiler review. But with that said, before I even get into all that, because what if this is your first time clicking on one of my videos? If you clicked on one, if this is your first time checking out my channel, thank you so much. What a time to check out the channel with everything that's going on. But let me introduce myself. My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek. And I always say the things that I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the four. So I like to talk about superheroes, video games, comic books, action movies, horror movies, sci-fi, fantasy, animated movies. And of course, I like to talk about black representation and queer representation, more times than not, the lack thereof in these sci-fi fantasy movies. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the personality, if you enjoy what I have to say, and you vibe with me and my content, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, become one of my safe haveners, help me reach another milestone here on this channel and getting over and reaching 8,000 subscribers, 9,000 subscribers. Tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me reach all of these different milestones. And you could also help with that for the low price of free 99. People always say free 99, and that was always weird to me because I'm like, if you're adding the 99 cents, that means you still got to pay 99 cents. Like, so no, free. Promote this channel by hitting that like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm and getting this video out there, getting my channel out there so more eyes can perhaps be recommended and enjoy the content and subscribe. Thank you. Please hit that like button. But with that said, like I mentioned, we are here to talk non-spoilers. So one of probably a lot of people's most anticipated movies of the year. And I'm not going to lie, when this movie was first announced, I wasn't that excited. I'm like, I don't really care about watching no Barbie movie. But then as more and more time went on, especially with the promotion, like the marketing behind this movie, I thought was genius. I was like, I'm actually kind of excited now to check out the Barbie movie, whereas before I wasn't really all that interested. And so with that said, did it live up to my now expectations? Did it live up to the hype? Let's talk about it. The synopsis for the Barbie movie reads, Barbie and Ken are having the time of their lives in the colorful and seemingly perfect world of Barbie Land. However, When they get a chance to go to the real world, they soon discover the joys and perils of living amongst humans. And this movie is directed by Greta Gerwig, and she became more prominent as the director of Little Women and Lady Bird, which were both nominated for Academy Awards. And of course, she's done other stuff as well, but I think that's the thing that made her more prominent in the eyes of the general public. And this movie starring Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Simu Liu, Issa Rae, oh, Kate McKinnon. There's a lot of people in this movie. Will Ferrell, Michael Cera, America Ferrera, Alexandra Shipp, Nkuti Gatwe, who most people will know from Sex Education on Netflix. Kingsley Ben Adir, who most people know he's currently on Secret Invasion as the main villain, Gravik from Marvel Secret Invasion. He also played Malcolm X in the Regina King directed movie One Night in Miami. He was very good in that movie. If you haven't seen that, I think it's on Amazon Prime. Definitely check that movie out. But yeah, and a bunch of other people and some surprise cameos that show up in this movie. But with that said, all talks about surprise cameos. Was this movie a surprise? Was it surprisingly good or surprisingly bad? And I'm happy to report that I really enjoyed the Barbie movie, actually more than I thought I would. And honestly, I want to see this movie again. I know this is a whole thing going on, the Barbenheimer debate, like which movie is going to make more money at the box office, Barbie or Oppenheimer. I don't know. I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, so I can't tell you whether I enjoyed that or not. That would be another video. I'll see that some other time. But yeah, this movie was funny. This movie was really enjoyable. This movie was intelligent in terms of like the set design and all of that stuff. Like it looked incredible. And I think the biggest thing about this movie, especially with Margot Robbie playing the role of Barbie, like she definitely embodied what you would think of. And it's funny enough because her character, because there's a whole bunch of different Barbies in this movie. Like Issa Rae is playing President Barbie. There are other different versions of Barbie. And the thing that makes, in terms of like the smartness of this movie, Margot Robbie, her character is stereotypical Barbie. So everything that you think a Barbie is, that's what Margot Robbie's character is supposed to embody. And like Alexandra Shipp's character, she plays like Nobel Peace winning Barbie. And there's like astronaut Barbie and Dr. Barbie and lawyer Barbie and firefighter Barbie. Like there's all the different types of Barbies to encompass the lore and all the different Barbies that have existed throughout Mattel. And that's also something that, like, if you're a huge Barbie fan, there are a lot of Easter eggs for you, because there's a lot of Barbie references, Ken references, discontinued versions of Barbie or other characters that Mattel created in this movie that I like knew of, but not really. But if you're like in the Barbie and Mattel lore, like you're just like, oh my God, there's that one, there's that one, there's that one. And there's a lot of that for like, this movie was made by Barbie and Mattel fans. Like they knew their stuff. But with that said, if you're like me and really don't have any knowledge or inkling of Barbie outside of the fact of just the name recognition, you will not be lost, or this movie will not confuse you. And like, I think one of the things that I also really enjoyed about this movie is just the heavy meta commentary, not even just in the fact of like what Barbie did for the industry before, because Barbie was really like one of the most mainstream adult dolls that existed before, because before that, and they talk about this in the movie, and it's not a spoiler, but before that, because this is about real life, but before Barbie, really kids were just playing with baby dolls. Now, granted, there's a little bit of whitewashing of history in that. I'm not going to fully go into it, but before, because they try to make it seem like no other dolls existed before Barbie besides baby dolls. There were other dolls. They were just on the more racist side. Like you had the black mammy dolls that a lot of white kids would play with that would reinforce racial stereotypes. But other than that, it was just mostly baby dolls and the mammy dolls. But thankfully, Mattel never really delved into that, making any racist or racial caricatures of black people during that time. It was just Barbie. But with that said, it was like there was a lot of meta commentary in this movie in terms of like what Barbie represented and what it did for girls, and girl power, and the standing of women in today's society, and the patriarchy, and a lot of that stuff. And that's why I like made that skit in the beginning. And it's not like it's a joke, because I actually saw a review on Twitter, basically somebody calling this movie a woke feminine agenda and all this other stuff. And I'm like, sure, pal. anytime somebody uses that term in a negative to say woke, that just means you're just admitting that you're racist, sexist, and homophobic and transphobic and all that without admitting that you're racist, sexist, homophobic, and transphobic. Like, come on, bro. But this movie was also funny, and like a lot of the comedy, a lot of it came from like Simu Liu and Ryan Gosling, who played Ken. And Ryan Gosling, he's somebody I never really paid that much attention to. Like, I've never seen La La Land or anything like. And to be perfectly honest, the main reason I didn't want to see La La Land is because it was a movie about jazz that took place in, I think, like New Orleans, and it was a cast of nothing but white people. Like, I was like, oh no, I'm not watching. I'm not watching. And it's a musical with mostly white people. I'm not watching this movie. You know who invented jazz? Black people. Why is this movie populated with black people? So I didn't watch La La Land. I heard a lot of people say it was good, but I'm like, I'm good on that one. So I've never really seen a lot of, and I also know he was in like Blade Runner, but I've never seen Blade Runner. I heard that was good too. I need to go back and check. I'll check out Blade Runner. But with that said, like with this really being my first inkling into really seeing Ryan Gosling, I thought he did a really good job playing the role of Ken. And I really enjoyed his character and then his kind of rivalry with the other Ken played by Simu Liu. And Simu Liu definitely does play a pretty good asshole. Now, granted, there's some rumors about him in real life that says it's not that far from the truth. But I don't know. I don't know. That's just speculation. So maybe that's why he played so well playing that character. But even in that, he was still pretty charming in that role. And you know me, I love me a good musical. And this movie wasn't a musical, but they definitely had some musical elements in it, especially when they were in Barbie Land. And definitely the way they conceptualized Barbie Land and the way it looked and how pink and colorful it was and how quote unquote perfect it was. I was like, well, hell, I want to live in Barbie Land. Like, this place looks incredible, especially with it being like all female ran. Like, you got an all female Supreme Court and etc. And like I've been saying for the longest time, I'm like, the world would probably be much better off if it was mostly women ran, if it was a matriarchy instead of a patriarchy. Because like, look at the state of the world we're in today, like wars, and not to say that women wouldn't go to war, but like, we've already tried a mostly male-ran society. Let's try something else, like climate change. Like, come on, guys. Like, let's do it. Let's do it again. And we've seen that with now in the made-up world of Barbie world. But like, yeah, the way it looked and the character, like, it looked like a lovely place to want to live in. And part of what also made Barbie Land fun, and not even just Barbie Land, but the movie in general, was the soundtrack and the score. Like, I really enjoyed the music in this movie. And also, going back into the meta commentary, the movie also had meta commentary in the movie where like they commented on aspects that were going on in the movie. It wasn't just a score that was going on in the background of the movie. Like, no, this score was specifically made for the movie. Like, so there's moments that Lizzo is singing and then she comments in her song about what's going on in the movie. And like, that just made it much more interesting. And like, and there was a lot of that throughout the movie, like those little side quips and ways that you weren't expecting, that just made the movie that much more fun and that much more enjoyable and that much more witty and that much more smart in its writing. But yeah, like, honestly, I had a lot of fun with this Barbie movie. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this review, I definitely want to see it again. I'm definitely going to pick up the soundtrack. And yeah, I would totally recommend you go see Barbie in theaters when it comes out this weekend. And I didn't wear pink when I went to go see it, mostly because I was like, well, I can't post. Like, if I wear a pink or anything, it's not like I can post it. So I'm gonna just wear a regular shirt. So, but if you're gonna go, for all the non-creators out there, definitely go see Barbie. Wear pink. Show out, wear your nicest outfit, get like a pink Cosmo drink and take a photo with it. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking out Barbie this weekend. But with that said, I do support all the actors and support all the writers. If you can, donate to the Actors Fund, donate to the Writers Fund, because I'm not sure if you saw the comments from the movie studios and stuff like that, basically saying that they're going to try to have this strike go as long as possible, to the point that the writers and actors start losing their houses and losing their apartments and all of that. To talk about it's a necessary evil. No, let this strike go as long as it needs to go, because these corporations need to know that they cannot rule over us and take home multi billions of dollars for their CEOs, and like Bob Iger, who's worth $690 million, and yet he's calling this strike unrealistic. You're almost worth $1 billion. These actors aren't even asking for that much. They're asking for like a 17% raise or something like that, and for you not to use their image in perpetuity in AI. That's unrealistic, yet you make $690 million to do what? And granted, I understand you're running Disney, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, but guess what? You wouldn't have a multi-billion-dollar corporation without your actors and actresses and writers and directors and people that are dressing up as Snow White and Nick Fury, etc. in your Disney parks. And the same thing with Amazon. You wouldn't be Jeff Bezos running a multi-billion-dollar corporation without your workers. Like, pay us. Everything is going up in this world but the paycheck. So these corporations need to pay us what we're worth and our value, and especially for the cost of inflation. So definitely support the actors, definitely support the writers. But with that said, you can also support them by going to see Barbie. Let this movie make its money, so that gives the SAG and WGA more leverage to negotiate with these studios. So yeah, I definitely recommend you check out Barbie. But with that said, once you see Barbie in theaters, come back to this video and let me know all of your thoughts about the Barbie movie. What did you think about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was all right? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you can, again, please hit that thumbs up and like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm and getting this video out there and my channel out there. If this is your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more. Hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video, and tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time, now that I know I can actually post reviews.